Hi everyone, this is Vicki Rowland and today I have a layout to share for Hip Kit Club. I'm using the July kit, but I'm using the main kit only. So on Thursdays, that's what we do. The design team uses the main kit only to provide you guys with inspiration for those of you who just have the main kit rather than all of them. I'm going with an enlargement photo today. So we were recently away on holiday and this was taken at a trip to a water park by a professional photographer and we didn't end up with the digital version, only the enlargement prints printed there and then at the park. So that's a bit strange. I didn't know they'd printed such large photos there. Whenever we've done them before there, we've had digital copies. But anyway, yeah, so it's an odd size, a photo size I don't think I've ever scrapbooked before, which is 9 by 12, I think. I'm just going to check that. But, or maybe it's... maybe it is 9. Maybe it's a bit less. Maybe it's like 8. Hold on, I've got another one. I'll measure that one instead. 8 by 12. I thought the gap on the side was more than 3 inches. Yeah, 8 by 12. Never scrapbooked in that size before, ever. I don't think I've ever done 9 by 12 either. It takes up such a huge amount of room on the layout. I decided to come home and scan the photos because we didn't have them digital. So I can reprint them, but the scanned copy is nowhere near as good as the original, and I don't have a better way of taking a copy. I suppose I could take it to a shop, maybe that might work. But anyway, I've scrapbooked it now, so too late. Yeah, I have this massive photo, and I just thought, I'm just going to do it and see how it turns out. So I've stuck it to a piece of white card over on the left-hand side, and then I have this big area, 4 inches on the right-hand side. I've left a tiny gap on the left, but I've got this big wide area on the right that I thought I would fill up with those fabulous border strips. I've been saving these border strips specifically for this layout. Because I knew I had this photo, but of course I've been away, so I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it till I got home. So I specifically saved those border strips to do this. And I really like how it turned out, and I wasn't sure about how it would look initially, whether the strips on the right would encroach too much on the photo, but actually the photo is chopped off anyway, and you have this harsh edge, so it's quite nice that you have the strips, and now it actually does look like the photo is a 12 by 12 photo when actually it isn't. Or it certainly looks like there's more of the photo and it's emerging from behind the strips. So anyway, how I did this was I layered up all of those strips onto the photo onto the layout, sorry, and I just attached them using my regular tape, my tape gun. And then I left them long. So, what I should also say is that on the photo side, I've done them higgledy-piggledy, so they're not straight edges. And I've also used the edges, the ends that are shaped, if you like. So when I've just cut those off, I've got an edge that is dead straight that I've cut on a guillotine, as opposed to the decorative ends of the border strips. So then I was in two minds about how do I now layer up the rest, because I was going to repeat the pattern going up the layout, but then I would have ended up with straight or the cut edges on the other side. So anyway, I grouped the whole lot together by adding tape to the back of them. So they were obviously overhanging the edge of the layout. I turned the layout upside down, put some tape on them to hold them in place as one large piece, and then cut it off, and then then turned around the edges, because of course on the other side they were all higgledy-piggledy on the other side as well. I hope I'm making sense. I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing because I don't feel like what's coming out of my mouth is making a huge amount of sense. Anyway, so I took the whole block, I turned it upside down, and then I've got the decorative ends of the strips onto the photo as well. But the strips are now upside down compared to what they were at the bottom of the layout. But I think that works quite well because they're almost kind of mirrored that way. I have the large orange piece in the middle, and I've only used one of those. I was going to have the other one there as well, but actually it looked better without it. So I took that off, and then they almost mirror each other, which is quite good. Either side of the orange one in the middle, I've got the pink, I can't even describe them, but pink curly flourishy ones, and then it's the yellow one, then it's the green lace one, but they are opposite sides. So on the bottom section of the layout, the lace scallops are going down, whereas at the top part of the layout, the lace scallops are going up. So anyway, I think it's quite a cool effect, and it was kind of a bit of an accident, really. So yeah, I really like how it turned out. So I'm just I'm carrying on, and I'm going to put them all over, all the way up to the top, trim the edges, and also going to add machine stitching through each one of those. I'll obviously do that off camera. Anyway, as I was making this layout, I'm thinking to myself, I'm sure I've seen someone else do this. Or do something similar before. Anyway, I looked back, and it turned out that Vicki Parker has used these border strips in a very similar way to what I have done. She's created a large wide strip, but she's put it for the middle of her layout, and hers are straight on either side. Anyway, I had a chat with Vicki, and we agreed to that they were significantly different, not to worry about it, because I was a bit worried about being accused of scraplifting, but and just put it down to great minds think alike. There's obviously only so many things you can do with border strips like this, and yeah, we obviously had a similar idea. So yeah, love what Vicky's did with her layout. Really lovely. She's got is a feature down the middle, and she's used 2 small photos, whereas I've got a large enlargement photo, and I've put the strips down one side. Mine are higgledy-piggledy, and yeah, so anyway, a just slightly different way to use a similar technique with these border strips. So yeah, that's what the design team are for, isn't it? To come up with different ideas, so with the same products. So there you go. Check out Vicky's layout as well for more border strip inspiration. Okay, so I've got all my border strips in place, and now I am moving on to other embellishments. I've got the leftover border strips that I did have. I thought I would try to make a feature of at the top left of the layout. There's a bit of noise in my photo, so obviously the main subjects are my 2 kids in the middle there, but at the top we've got the background of the water park. There's a bridge, some trees, fencing. It wasn't not particularly pretty. So I thought I could cover some of that up by using the border strips. Anyway, it looked a bit messy initially. I needed to cover up more of it or less of it, if that makes sense. If that made sense, because it was kind of blending into the embellishments were kind of blending into the background. But I made it work with the different border strips. A large acetate doily that I cut in half. That was one of the blue ones. I've then mirrored those acetate doilies down the bottom right of the layout. One full one and the other half of the one that I cut up. Going back up to the top left, I've got the sun. That's from the ephemera. Summer beach vacation, again from the ephemera, and a cocktail that I'm going to move down. Now my children obviously don't have cocktails, but they have they have summer drinks, and are always very excited by those. So that worked really well. Ice creams obviously are a big part of our lives, yeah, so I've got those cut out and put at the top there. They were from the ephemera too. I just trimmed off the white edges a little bit further. And then I've added at the top there, having the best time, which is a puffy phrase sticker. And then summer vibes. Over on the right-hand side, I've added relax. That's from the puffy stickers as well. And then at the bottom there, I've added favourite place, again from the puffy sticker. So I feel good that I've used lots of those on the layout. They are really lovely, but I can never use a whole pack of those kind of things. I always end up with loads of those left over, because you only need 1 per layout normally. And I only make 4 or 5 layouts using my kit, so therefore that's something that I end up with a lot spare of. Anyway, so I'm pleased I got some of those onto the layout. I was a bit worried about them coming off because they're stuck over on the right anyway. They're stuck on the border strips, so lots of different levels, the stitching, the textures. I've made sure that some of them stand up a little bit. So just wanted to make sure that those stickers didn't come off because the surface isn't very smooth. So I've just stitched through those on my sewing machine as well to keep those in place. At the bottom, I've added some flip-flops because that goes very well with our theme, on my theme today. On top of the full acetate doily at the bottom, I've added a little circle from the ephemera pack that says Ocean Paradise, and the cocktail as well has been moved down to there now. And then back over on the top left, I'm going to add 2 little label stickers. One says they're not stickers, they're ephemera. One says our best life and one says so happy. I'm going to trim those off, doing it now, so that they are flush with the edge of the layout. I like how this looks with everything, with the elements being chopped down to meet the edge of the layout. Does that make sense? So all the border strips on the right are obviously being cut flush with the edge of the layout, and on the left hand side as well, the doily is cut in half and the 2 little stickers are cut as well, so that it all looks like it's just being stuck right to the edge. Just think it sometimes makes it look more, I don't know, smooth. I'm not sure of the word. Okay, so yeah, not too far off being done now, I don't think. I just wanted to get some journaling in, and I really had nowhere that I could write confidently without, without it getting lost in the pattern. I was going to pick one of the lighter border strips to write on, but I was just a bit unsure that it would show up well enough. So what I did was I took a piece of the packaging from one of the exclusive products this month. It's a very pretty light with pink stripes. So I just cut up a few little strips, and I've stuck one onto the border strip at the top there, just so that I can write a little bit about what we were doing that day, and then another second one, much smaller, at the bottom by the flip-flops, for the date. Right now I'm looking at my phone to figure out what the date was that this photo was taken, and writing that in there, and that is me done. So yeah, that was the July main kit only, with an enlargement photo and a sheet of white cardstock as the base. So pretty straightforward and easy to do. This layout came together really easily. It was a joy to make. I love those border strips, so effective. Don't forget that if you are a Hip Kit Club subscriber, you get access to the main kit at a reduced price, 15% discount off all add-on kits, and you get access to exclusive subscriber cut files. So lots of reasons to subscribe. Thank you very, very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the layout. That was Niki Rowland for Hip Kit Club.